welcome to the August 2013 version of Social Media Breakfast Madison. We're excited to have the Badgers here. Mr. Lucas is over here. We'll introduce him in a minute. Social Media Breakfast. Who's here for the first or second time?
Wow.
All right, it's great to see. Well, just a little brief introduction about what we are. Our two main goals are education and networking. We hope you learn some great stuff for not only your professional life, but also for your personal life, how to use social media through best practices, panels, presentations. And hey, every third Wednesday we're here. If it's not in town or somewhere else in the city. We're always looking for places to go. So if you have any ideas, venues that we can use, be sure to let us know. Ideas for speakers. If you want to become involved, we're all ears. And just talk to one of our co-managers. And they are. We've added a few co-managers in the last couple months as we begin to grow more. And new talented, great people. Let's see, Bill Hurley, he's now doing our blog that will be posted on the next few days. And we'll send it out on our various social media channels.
Wave your hand.
Krista Ledbetter, she is our resident tweeter. She has about almost 87,000 tweets of her own. So we are harnessing that talent. 87,000 tweeters, so she can get to 100 soon. Tyler Posek, he helps out with check-in and various special events. Jeff Powers, if you've seen a guy walking around, big goatee and some weird glasses on his face, that's him. He's got the Google Glass. He is our videographer. Lance Ratzi, he's the owner of Yola's Cafe. That's the food you're having today. Thank you, Yola. And he is our sponsorship guy. So if you have ideas for sponsorship, be sure to contact him. Renee Rip, she's the one over there responsible for filling this room up, running Eventbrite, doing check-in. So thank you for filling this room up.
Emily.
Tony's our fearless leader, president. He is in charge of all of us, everything goes through him. Paul Stokes is our AV guy. He is also our secretary. So many roles for him. Hi, I'm Mike Walsh. I'm talking today. I'm in charge of the Twitter and Facebook for our social media breakfast. And down there you got Bob Weider, who's not with us today, but he is usually our photographer. He takes some amazing pictures and works for Did It Direct.
Mike, Emily Olson. You skipped Emily.
Who?
Emily Olson.
Oh yeah, she is our treasurer. The most important job. She keeps the money organized. And, yeah, I'm sorry. So many names. So coming up, September 18th, we have AT&T, small little cellular company. Let's see. And then October we have more than just milk. Wisconsin Dairy Panel will be here. We have a couple of speakers for that. And then upcoming, we are actually looking for ideas. One of the ideas we're tossing around is an Instagram panel. If you know anyone who's doing amazing work on Instagram, be sure to send them our way. Anyone who's doing good stuff with a 15-second video, that's another one. And also maybe a Twitter panel in the future. So we're looking for ideas and great speakers coming up. So if you need to find us anywhere on the internet, the best bet is just to look for SMBMad. But we are everywhere. Let's see. And if you are trying to figure out the login, how to get the message every month for tickets, be sure to email us so we can put you on the list. SMBMad@gmail.com. And today, so we have the Wisconsin-Badgers presenting Scoring with Social Media. And brought to you by, we have a couple sponsors, many. So if you are a sponsor and you want to talk for a minute, you can come up here or shut up. All right.
Hi, I'm Michelle Wingate from American Family Insurance. I have 3 things I want to share today. Tuesday, September 24th, at our Dream Bank, which is 1 North Pinckney on the Square, we'll be doing a session on Twitter for small business. That's Tuesday, September 24th at 12 and 6:30, and it's presented by Colin Cronke, and Tom Blumeyer from our team. This is our third social media session. We've had a lot of attendees come from these breakfasts, so thanks for participating. We hope to see you there. Second thing, we're doing a drawing out in the lobby for the Dream Bank. There's a fishbowl. We'll do a free lunch session. You get lunch, you get to talk about social media with our team, whatever you're interested in talking about. The third thing is the most exciting today. We've been doing some giveaways here. Today we'll be giving away 2 tickets for the Badger game against Purdue, September 21st. Tweet at AmFam with the hashtag SMBMad your favorite Badger sports memory. So we want to see that today. We'll announce the ticket winners at the end. So you have to be present to win. And there's several AmFam employees here. I'm sorry you're not eligible, but you can still tweet. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Tom with Charter Business. I'm not your typical cable guy. I can't do a Jim Carrey impression or anything like that. But Charter, we're your high-speed internet provider and phone service. We're here happy to support the social media breakfast. More and more business is being done via social media, and one of the ways you connect with that is through your bandwidth and that. And we're here to support that. One of the statistics we've seen come up in the next 5 years, businesses are expected to increase their bandwidth needs by 29%, and businesses that do that are going to grow 3 times as faster than their competitors. So if you need any help with your bandwidth or your phone service, we're here to support your business with Charter Business, and I have a drawing here for the $50 Amazon gift card, so if we can have some help. Mike? Our winner is Bill Adair, A-I-D-E-R. Bill, are you here?
All right.
Okay, Bill. Actually,
Called
Bill,
out.
if you can catch me afterwards.
It's Iker.
I apologize for that. You can slap me later. Meet me afterwards, and I'll get your information and get that sent off to you.
It's more of a penmanship problem, I think.
Hi, I'm Belmont, and this is Chris Laerdal. We're here with the Best Western Encounter. Thank you all so much for coming out today. I'm not sure if you maybe figured out we might possibly be Badger fans here, just a little. No, we were super excited to be allowed to host this, and so in honor of that, we actually wanted to do a giveaway of our own. We had a business card drop for, yep, and no more last minutes. It was a free night stay in a Whirlpool suite and dinner for 2, and I'm going to hold the bowl, and Chris is going to van it for me.
Chris Ackley from Easter Seals, Wisconsin.
So Chris, why don't you just come find me afterwards, and we'll make sure we get you set up.
She spells her name correctly with a K.
And then what I wasn't advertising out there is that we wanted to actually also do 2 additional dinner for 2 giveaways. So don't lose hope just yet.
Kristen Kaiser Abraham.
Oh, yep,
And
there
she
she is.
spells her name right too with a K.
So come see me after we have to get a certificate for our restaurant, and then we'll do one more.
Whoops.
Nate Shore.
Hi, Nate. Does he spell his name correctly too, or?
Yes, he does. It's and he's with Wells Print and Digital Services.
So yep, all of you come find us afterwards. We'll make sure that you get your prizes, and thank you all so much for coming.
Hi, I'm Lisa from Mule's Cafe and Catering. We're happy to be here and happy to bring you your breakfast today and your coffee. We are located down the hill from Princeton Club West, and we have a cafe, we have lunch, breakfast, great waffles, grandma's waffles, and we also do catering. So give us a call for any catering needs. Thanks.
That's it. Oh, one more Subtle Strauss.
Hi, good morning. I'm Patty Stempensky from Subtle Strauss. Subtle Strauss is a print fulfillment and interactive marketing provider, and we are proud to be a sponsor of Social Media Breakfast.
Thanks, Patty. That's it, buddy.
All right, thank you, sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. I would also like to point out our legal team. We have lawyers from Reinhardt Law and Axley Law, one of which is my brother Johnny Walsh down front. Next. Yep.
What's going on?
So we have a lot of sponsors. If you would like to talk, our hashtag today and every day, and hi Tony. Hi. Just feel free, you know. SMBMad. You can use that not only on Twitter now, but Facebook, Instagram, and I don't know whatever new social media thing is coming up today. But you can use that everywhere. So today, our presenter, Mr. Brian Lucas, Director of Athletic Communication at the Wisconsin Badgers. He is in his 15th year, so when he started, there wasn't computers, I'm thinking. He made football contacts since 2008, and he oversees 50-plus social media sites, and they're just growing every day. Recently, we've added about 10 Instagram accounts, and he's a Notre Dame grad. And most importantly, he's my boss, so give him a warm welcome. Brian Lucas.
Is this working? Yep. Okay. Like Mike said, Brian Lucas, in my 15th year at UW, in the athletic communications office. In my 4th or 5th year overseeing the entire office. If you don't know, we have 23 sports, ranging from football, men's basketball, women's basketball, down to crew, tennis. So I oversee an office of, we have nine employees. 5 of those are full-time employees. We have 4 interns. We also have 9 student employees. So we have a pretty big office. And as Mike alluded to, when I started at Notre Dame, I started in their sports information office. And I remember, it was basically, I don't want to date myself, but kind of the start of the internet. I remember going on a thing called ESPNSportZone.com, and I got sports news before all my friends. And so I thought I was just the coolest guy. And now to see where things have gone from then, it's crazy. I mean, my job, we used to not have a simple job, but we were the go-betweens between the media and the student athletes, the coaches, the teams. So if someone wanted to talk to, when I started, Barry Alvarez, they came to us, hey, I'm Pete Thamel from Sports Illustrated, or I'm Tom Mulhern from the State Journal. I need to talk to Coach Alvarez. That's how we got our message out. When I started, we did have a website. UWBadgers.com has been around since I've been around in '99, but it was very beginning stages. We put up press releases, some ticket information, but not much. And then probably around, the mid-2000s, 2005, 6, 7, we saw our website grow and thought, what a great opportunity for us to tell our own story. Now we didn't need to rely on the media, local, national, to tell our story. We could do it ourselves. So we started going that way. We got into blogging. We were one of the first schools to do some live blogs from our events, to do some kind of inside access blogs. That was the big thing we noticed. We, in my office, in the communications office, we had the best resources right there. We were with the student athletes all the time. We were with the coaches all the time. We had access that no one else had. So how are we going to use that to our advantage? To get our fans inside the locker room, inside practices, inside road trips. That I did men's basketball for 7 years when I first started. And the biggest thing I did was blogs with photos and just descriptions of what we were doing on road trips. People loved to know that we ate chicken sandwiches for dinner the night before a game. For us, it was every game we ate chicken sandwiches. It was kind of tedious, but fans ate it up. No pun intended. But that kind of stuff grew. And then, again, we saw the website as a chance to tell our story. And then probably we opened our Twitter account. It was National Signing Day for football, I want to say 2008. And it's always a Wednesday. That Tuesday, we said we need a Twitter account because we had seen, I think the year before, some NFL teams had tweeted out their draft picks. And that was revolutionary. And we thought, well, we'll tweet out the names of our signees as they come in. And that's basically what we did. That was what we did on Twitter the first day. It was very informational. It was, I don't know who would have signed then, Chris Borland. Chris Borland, linebacker, Kettering, Ohio, welcome to the Badgers. And that was about as dry and as easy, no hashtag, no nothing. It was just straight information. From there, we started our main Facebook account. And in the early days, we said this is going to be our Facebook account. We have 23 sports, but we're not going to do Facebook for all 23 sports. Same with Twitter. We're not going to do Twitter for 23 sports. That's crazy. We're going to send our fans one place and everyone's going to go here. That lasted probably 3 or 4 months because then not the football head coach, but the assistants who are recruiting say, well, our recruits don't want to get news about the rowing team or the tennis team. They want news about the football team. The tennis team came and said, our recruits don't want news about the soccer team. We want our own Twitter account. We want our own Facebook account. So what started as kind of just something else that we did has now grown to, something we put the utmost importance on pretty much every day in my office. A little background on kind of our goals and what we try to do with our social media accounts, kind of why we do it. We try to create a connection with our fans, whether it's fans in Madison, who are, most of our ticket buyers are local, Madison, Milwaukee, Green Bay, kind of within a 2-hour radius. National fans, there's a huge alumni base with the UW, and there's people in California, New York who want their Badgers news and can't get it from their local sources. And then international. Like I said, we have a huge alumni base, a lot of international students, a lot of soldiers overseas. We see a lot of that stuff on social media. So try to reach them and try to connect with them, not just inform them, but entertain and connect with them. Get our message out. Like I said, we use our website not so much as just hard information anymore, but we have a lot of stories to tell. We've hired Mike Lucas, who probably a number of you know in the room, was a sports writer for the Capital Times for about 35 years. We've hired him. He now writes for us. And to take advantage of that and the stories that he can tell, we need to use social media to get that message out and so our fans can know what's out there. Engage with the media. Especially with football, men's basketball, the national and local media are all over Twitter. They're on it all the time, discussing issues, promoting their own stuff, having fun. We need to be in that conversation. I had a good example just yesterday. Andy Staples writes for SportsIllustrated.com, and he tweeted something about, he retweeted a writer from Florida who talked about one of their walk-ons getting a scholarship. And Andy retweeted it and said, great moment that will be coming up next couple weeks all over the country as walk-ons get scholarships. A little background, during fall camp, which is going on right now, there's usually some open scholarships, so coaches will choose some walk-ons who are either seniors or kids that are going to really contribute this year and give them scholarships. They usually don't know about it, and as you can imagine, a kid that's paying whatever, if it's in-state or out-of-state tuition, that one day all of a sudden the coach comes to him and says your school is free, it's a pretty emotional time. Well, we do an inside access video piece during fall camp, and we caught that moment for one of our seniors, Nick Hill, during probably our second team meeting, where Coach Anderson called him up to the front of the room, said you're now on scholarship, and was very emotional. Guys gave him a standing ovation, but we caught it all on film. So I saw that Andy had tweeted something about walk-ons getting scholarship. I tweeted directly at him, hey, Badgers senior Nick Hill 2 weeks ago got a scholarship, here's the video. He immediately retweeted that video to his 100,000 followers, cool moment at the 2:15 mark. So that again just gets our message out there to a broader audience. I'm on Twitter I have it open on my computer at all times. I'm not always looking at it, but it's open at all times. Luckily enough, I was able to catch that in my timeline and act on it, and it worked out in our favor. So we try to engage with the media. And then one thing that probably doesn't apply to most people in this office is we have to recruit. Our coaches need to recruit student athletes. 14 to 18-year-old kids are on social media. I can't tell you today what platform they're on because it usually changes every 6 hours. But right now, we hit them hard on Twitter. And again, that's a reason why we have Twitter accounts now for just about every one of our sports, because they can directly get their message to the recruits that they're targeting through Twitter. We do some stuff on Facebook, but the studies say that the kids these days aren't on the Facebook. So we're doing a lot of Twitter, a lot of Instagram with recruiting stuff. So those are the main reasons why we do it. And what we're doing, we're big on Twitter, we're big on Facebook. That's where most of our fans are right now. And again, like I said, most of our recruits. YouTube is big for us. We use it a lot for all of our videos. Then we dabble, like Mike said, we have started dabbling in Instagram. Some sports use it more than others. Google Plus and Pinterest. We're pretty much trying to figure out how we want to use it, and being to a lot of these things, you have to figure out what you're using each platform for. As you guys know, one social media strategy isn't going to cover all Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. You need a strategy for Facebook, you need a strategy for Twitter, you need a strategy for Instagram, and I think we're still coming up with that stuff. Kind of go through my presentation here. Like I said, we've got 20 different Facebook pages. It ranges, the main page, again, which we started first, has over 500,000 likes. So that's a huge audience for us. And what we try to do on Facebook is, first off, entertain. A lot of sharing of photos. Just try to get some engagement on Facebook. We try to do that and then sneak in our messages. If we were to send, if every post we had a link on it, I'm not sure many people would like it. But we do a lot of just photos that will get response. People love Bucky. If we would need some cheap applause, we throw Bucky up there, celebrating a touchdown, and it automatically gets 10,000 likes. I think it actually goes in this order. It changes daily. It goes Russell Wilson, J.J. Watt, Bucky. So we've got 3 standbys we can use to get some cheap likes on there. The football account obviously has almost 200,000 likes. And what we've tried to do is the main Badgers account is more fun, more for every fan. Like I said, Bucky and movie night, that kind of stuff. The individual sports pages are obviously more focused. There's a lot more football-specific news on the football page. Men's basketball, same thing. It's got more of a news flavor where we're trying to inform people, but also entertaining them. A couple numbers. Our men's basketball Facebook page has over 27,000 likes. That's the 5th most among college basketball teams in the country. The football Facebook at almost 200,000 is the 7th most among football teams in the country. And then the main Facebook is 8th most among schools in the country. I believe Ohio State is number 1 with over 1 point something million. But yes, exactly. Different schools do it different ways. Some schools just have a main Facebook account and they they drive all of their traffic there and they put all their news there. Some schools like us try to go different routes with the different sports. A couple things that have been successful recently, like I said, the football page, you know, we try to keep it simple sometimes if we're looking for just some great engagement. This was the first practice. We took a picture, James White just said football is back. If I can see it, had over 6,000 likes, 500 shares, and reached over 130,000 people. We try to do, we try to get the focus off the field too. Graduation stuff, men's basketball page threw up Jared and Dan when they graduated. Again, got a lot of great engagement because people love to see that stuff. That talks to the access that we try to give them that they don't normally see. And then this was movie night. Our marketing guys got creative with the graphic with Joel Stavi and Sunshine from Remember the Titans, and obviously that got great engagement. But this was also a good example of us trying to sneak some information in there. You see there's a link above the photo with information about movie night. So it's not just trying to get people to like that picture. It's also trying to sneak information in there so they know when it is, they can come to the event. And for the first time, it was a great event. I don't know if anyone went out there, but we had over 3,500 people, a great night, and definitely something we'll do again. As far as kind of how we, backing up a little bit, how we run these programs, these pages, each of my office is broken up into, everyone has a different sport. I mainly do football. We have a person who does men's basketball, and then on down the line. Some of our smaller sports will have multiple people who will do both soccers and maybe tennis or something like that. So we oversee these accounts, both on Facebook and Twitter. Some of the coaching staffs are more involved than others. Volleyball is a great example. We have a new volleyball staff. They have a new director of volleyball operations. She is great on Twitter and Facebook, which is great for us because we're not always there. We do travel with the teams, but we're not always at practice. We're not always in the locker room. We're not always at team meals. She does a great job of taking pictures, putting them on Twitter, putting them on Facebook, of stuff, again, that fans will never see unless we get it out there. And it's very easy. I mean, obviously, everyone knows with the technology of our phones now, it's very easy to be our own media wherever we are, whenever we're there. Our marketing people also have a hand in what we do, mostly the main Twitter and main Facebook accounts. So myself and Kevin Klunder, our marketing director, will a number of times a day converse about, hey, what are you putting on the main Facebook page? This is what I'm putting on the football page. We'd like to put this on the Facebook page at this time. How can we best position stuff? Same with the main Twitter account. What are you guys putting up when, so that we don't so that we A, don't miss anything, and B, don't kind of step on each other's toes. You'll see that when I kind of go through what we did for the Rose Bowl. 18 different Twitter feeds, as you can see. Badger football is the most popular one at almost 50,000. That is 11th most in the country, along the men's basketball with almost 15,000 is also 11th. Again, a great reach, and a number of people get their news this way now. We use it somewhat as a news feed to get stuff out, but then also try to, again, like Facebook, try to entertain, because if we're just a straight news feed with no personality, people will start ignoring us. So we have to have some fun stuff in there. We try to engage, try to answer questions. This is from Family Fun Day. We sent out a tweet from the main account with just information about Family Fun Day. Someone asked about parking. We try to respond to them so that we get that information out, so that, it's a big thing on game day. Obviously, we have a lot of questions on game day. We try to get back to them the best we can. There's some stuff we can't answer. I mean, the number of times I've gotten, when are we going to announce the LSU football game on Twitter? I don't know. When we do, we can. But there is stuff we can't answer. but a lot of times we try to get back to people. This one, I don't know if everyone saw, was the corn maze with Coach Anderson. I got this picture in my email box and immediately thought Twitter, because this was one tweet. I just tweeted it out once, and it locally, nationally, everywhere, it became a thing. I just knew it would. There's sometimes you just know things will become a deal, and it became a deal. I mean, it was in every college football blog, and locally there were stories everywhere that night about it. Later, come to find out, they'd emailed it to Coach Anderson, and he had forwarded it to me, and they had kind of wanted to keep it under wraps until closer to when the corn maze actually opened. So I probably screwed them up a little there, but such is Twitter, I guess. And this is just from yesterday. Our men's basketball team is on a trip to Canada. This is Sam Decker waiting to check in at the airport. Again, that is something that there's probably 22 people on that trip, so no one else has that. To give our fans a look at that, at what they're going through, and kind of go through that whole trip, it's stuff that they can't get anywhere else. Like I said, YouTube, we use a bunch. We've uploaded almost 1,400 videos in the probably 4 years we've had a YouTube account, almost 4,500 subscribers, and over 3.5 million total views on our videos. When I'm going to do some kind of case studies of how we've used social media to announce different things, but it's a great way to get our message straight to fans. The dance-off video is one of those that went viral. The football team during spring practice had a dance-off, and it's something Coach Anderson did at Utah State. He brought it here, and we, again, knew it was going to be a big deal. We didn't know it was going to be 400,000 views, big deal, and on CNN and ESPN, SportsCenter, all that stuff. But we thought it'd be a big deal, so we put it up, and immediately it was a hit. I think part of the reason it got to 400,000 was it was on the front page of MSN.com. So that was a huge viewership for us. Like I said, SportsCenter stole some clips, put it on, and it was a great introduction for Coach Anderson, again, who's brand new, trying to show community here in Madison and the country, really, his personality, and showed off that that we do like to have fun. When we talking about Coach Anderson, when we introduced him, when we hired him December 20th, I believe, it was one of those rare instances in athletics. We hardly ever know what's going to happen. I'm not afraid to say it, fly by the seat of our pants very often. I would love to say we have these great visions and everything's planned and we've got tweets scheduled from here to next week, and we know our Facebook posts from here to October. I'd be lying to you. However, when Coach Anderson was hired, on a Tuesday morning, my boss, Justin Doherty, came in and put a resume down on my desk and said, "Here's our guy." And so we knew that Tuesday morning. We knew we wouldn't be able to announce anything until Thursday morning, the earliest, most likely Thursday afternoon. In the world of athletics and hiring a football coach, that's an eternity. There's no way that's not going to get out. So we know we're not going to be the people that announce that. But what we could control was how people's first impression of Coach Anderson was. So we actually did, with 36 hours to plan, we came up with a plan, and we had some goals. Generate excitement. Obviously we had been very successful under Coach Bielema. He leaves, and it's kind of a downer. I mean, why would a coach from a successful Big Ten team leave? Coach Alvarez steps in, and so there's excitement again for the Rose Bowl, but that only lasts so long. The Rose Bowl is only 2 weeks away. What's next? So we need to generate some excitement about the hire. educate our fans on who Gary was. He was, coming in, he was not a huge name. He was not coming from a big school. So a lot of people don't know Utah State as a football power. So we need to tell them who he was. This was important to us. We needed to brand him as our coach, not Utah State's former coach. We'll get into kind of how we did that a little bit, but that was a big thing for us. And then give our fans a chance to be a part of the announcement, not just announce it to them and, hey, here's the news, but let them engage with us and give us feedback on what they think. So our plan, again, we knew on Tuesday, but couldn't announce till Thursday. If you remember back to that week, that was Snowmageddon. That was the day that it snowed like 27 feet. I probably have to qualify that. It was the day in December that snowed 27 feet. But so we got him into Madison Wednesday afternoon right before the snow started. So we would have him all day Thursday to do what we needed him to do. And we knew, snow or no snow, we weren't going to have our press conference until Friday because we probably weren't going to be able to announce, because of the athletic board of regents, stuff that needed to be approved, we probably weren't going to be able to announce it till Thursday later in the day so that Friday would be our press conference. So we would have him in town, kind of in our possession, Wednesday night, all day Thursday. The news conference we knew would be on Friday. So we had some priorities. We wanted him to be able to directly address our fans on video, talk to our fans. Like I said, we have Mike Lucas. We have a great resource. We wanted the first story about Coach Anderson taking the job with quotes from Coach Anderson to be from Mike Lucas and appear on our website. We needed photos, again, to the branding, him as our coach, not Utah State's former coach. We needed pictures of him with a Wisconsin visor, with a Wisconsin polo, in our facilities, in his office, Wisconsin helmet, all that kind of stuff, with Coach Alvarez. And then to the point of, again, giving our fans something that they can't see anywhere else, get the inside access and follow him around for his first 3 days in Madison and put that on video. So here was, again, when I started 15 years ago, if we hired Gary Anderson, it would have been a press release that I faxed out to the media. Even 7 years ago, it would have been a press release that I emailed out and that I put on our website, and that would have been it. And then the story, we would have lost control of the story. This is how we first officially announced Gary Anderson as our head coach. We put it on our Facebook page and asked people to either like it, to show your support, share it with friends, and then leave your message for Coach Anderson. It had 12,000 likes, over 1,000 shares, over 1,000 comments. So again, letting people, our fans, feel a part of the announcement. And again, totally branded Coach Anderson as our coach. Wisconsin visor, welcome to Camp Randall. That picture kind of said it all. Right after that, we sent out a tweet. Proud to announce, Coach Anderson, with a link to the video of Coach Anderson. It was 1 minute and 15 seconds. Hey, Badger fans. I don't think we have sound here, so I'm not going to play the video, but you can definitely go on YouTube. It's him in our football office, again, Wisconsin helmet, talking about happy to be here, can't wait to get started. And then with some facts about kind of where he came from. That Utah State was 11-2 last year, that they finished number 16 in the country. Again, to educate our fans on just who he was and where he was coming from. And then this is what appeared on our website, the story. Like I said, it wasn't just a plain release. It was Mike Lucas's story with a 6-minute sit-down interview with Mike Lucas and Coach Anderson in the football office. So again, getting his first, the first time you could see him answering questions about the Badgers was on our website. In the following days, we used Twitter a lot to educate our fans and to build excitement. The first tweet there, it just says, Utah State ranks second in the country in rushing yards per carry over the last 2 seasons. A big thing we wanted to combat was ever since Coach Alvarez has been here, the football team's been known for running the ball, smash mouth offense. When Coach Anderson was hired, immediately, because he ran a different offense at Utah State, the question was he going to come in here and run the spread, and are we going to become a totally different team? We wanted to combat that, so we put out stats about Utah State's rushing offense. Any positive story about Coach Anderson that appeared anywhere on the internet, we made sure we tweeted, retweeted, got fans to know that other people were excited, so you need to be excited. The first 48, again, that was the inside access video that we did following him around. We had him talking to the team for the first time ever. Again, something you couldn't see anywhere else except our website and on YouTube. A quick summary of again, for us, we thought 36 hours was 2 months to be able to plan this out. And I think we did a decent job. Tuesday evening, as I said, we knew we wouldn't be the ones to announce it. Pete Thamel broke the news Tuesday night that he was our coach. So then late afternoon, he arrived. We have a video person in the car driving out with him. He meets with Mike after he comes to Coach Alvarez's office, shakes Coach Alvarez's hand, gets flowers from Coach Alvarez's wife. He sat down with our writer, and then we did the Q&A on camera. Thursday, taped the welcome message, did the photo shoot, had our photographer who lives in Oregon and somehow got to the stadium that day. Luckily, Coach Anderson was just at Hotel Red, so he just had to walk across the street. The rest of us had a bit of an issue getting into, including Coach Alvarez, who couldn't get out of his driveway. So we did the facility tour with Coach Alvarez. Then we were on call right away. At 5:30, the Board of Regents approved the hire, and at 5:40, again, we put the splash page on UW Badgers and sent out an email to our ticket holders. That was actually the first thing we did. But 1 minute later, we put it on Facebook. 2 minutes later, we tweeted, and 3 minutes later, we sent it to the media. There are times that we intentionally hold things back a little from releasing it to the media, whether it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. They don't like that. I understand why. I understand why we do it. With something this important, it wasn't worth the negative kind of feelings that they would have if we were to hold this for 20 or 30 minutes before sending it to the media. Then Friday morning, we had a 10 a.m. news conference. Big Ten Network, which is a great partner to have, obviously, carried that live. So again, it was great to have that. And then the follow-up, the YouTube videos, I put the views down there just to show you kind of what the success we had with that. Another thing that we've thankfully gotten pretty good at is going to the Rose Bowl. And in each of the 3 years, we've gotten better at our social media plan. Obviously, the Rose Bowl is a huge deal, and we want to take advantage of that. So the first year, we had a day-by-day schedule. For travel out to the Rose Bowl, my office travels 3 people. Our marketing office travels 2 people. So we've got 5 people there that can, at some point, help with social media. We put together a day-by-day schedule. There's a lot of events at the Rose Bowl, so it lends itself to this. And we knew that, say, I would be tweeting from a press conference in the morning. Kevin Klunder would be tweeting pictures of the setup of the Rose Bowl pep rally at Santa Monica Pier. My assistant would be taking pictures for a Facebook photo gallery from the Beef Bowl at Lowry's. So again, with 3 years of experience, we thought we did pretty well this year. these two case studies have goals. I can't tell you what my goal is today with a tweet that I'm doing, but sometimes we do actually figure out, hey, let's not just do this to do this, let's do this for a purpose. And obviously, things are better that way. So tell our story, strengthen the bond, encourage fan engagement. That was something we hadn't seen in the first 2 Rose Bowls. We had been very good at pushing out information, not great at engaging our fans. Expand our followers. And then this year, obviously, emphasize the historic nature of going to a 3rd straight one, and then the uniqueness of Coach Alvarez coaching in the game. Some examples of the Facebook. Again, I mentioned the Lowry's Beef Bowl. This is Bo Allen serving Coach Alvarez his meal. Again, just a fun thing that gets people an inside look. Coach Alvarez's birthday is right around the Rose Bowl. People love Coach Alvarez. Obviously, at that time, with him being the coach, it was a huge story. Again, kind of a cheap play for engagement. This last one was interesting. The main thing I've learned about social media from a college athletic department standpoint, through tons of research, many years doing this, and might surprise some people, but it's much better when you win. We can do great things on social media. If the team loses, engagement isn't great. Team wins, engagement is terrific. So another thing we've gotten, unfortunately, good at is figuring out how to spin a Rose Bowl loss. So this was our post after the Rose Bowl. It was a quote from Monty, and it said, "What this team's legacy will be is for others to decide, but hopefully they will say we always went down fighting and represented Wisconsin well." It had nothing about the score of the game. Obviously, we figured most people knew what happened, and it was a picture of him scoring a touchdown. It got 8,500 likes. Now you go back to the Rose Bowl the year before, it was a picture of Russell. Again, Russell walks on water here. No one can say a bad thing about him. But it was a picture of Russell scoring a touchdown, and it was score of the game, and, something about hope we did you proud or something like that. It had, I think, 800 likes and a lot more negative comments. So again, I don't know what we figured out, but we figured out a way to kind of make people not as upset about a Rose Bowl loss. Hopefully we get a chance this year to make people happy about a Rose Bowl win. On Twitter, we did, there's a number of times, again, like I said, I travel with the team, so we're on the bus a lot. We're busing to practice, we're busing to Disneyland, we're busing to wherever during the Rose Bowl. So instead of just sitting there on the bus, we've got the kids captive. They have to sit there, they're either listening to their music or they're talking to their friends. So we thought about Twitter chats. We've got a captive audience. Let's have 20 minutes on the bus ride to practice. We'll do a chat with some of the offensive guys. So we had some Rose Bowl hats and some other gear to give away. So they were pretty successful. It was our first kind of foray into it. You can see this particular one was when we were going to Disney. So it was a lot of kind of Disney themed questions. What's your favorite ride? And it was a lot of fun stuff. Who on the team thinks they would win American Idol? There's some, which Disney princess would you most like to date? Who's the best hunter on the team? Stuff like that the guys then enjoy. The questions they get on a daily basis are very, as you can imagine, who's going to be the starting quarterback? What's the other team's defense look like? They they have great personalities and they enjoy answering questions like this, and our fans definitely enjoy seeing things like that. With YouTube, again, we haven't done this for 3 years. the past 2 years, we had done kind of daily updates from the Rose Bowl. Very dry. One of my staff, usually with a microphone, interviewing whoever. Russell Wilson, Monty Ball, Chris Borland. How'd practice go today? How was Disneyland? That kind of stuff. It gets kind of old. So we decided to roll out the Path to Pasadena, which again, kind of like our fall camp series, was an inside look at what was going on. Whether they're at Disney, whether you're in practice with a player or a coach mic'd up. It was kind of the less is more model. The results, obviously the game results you can see in the picture, but less Facebook posts and better engagement. We got more strategic about what we were doing with Facebook. We post pretty much once a day on our main Facebook account, mostly in the afternoon or evening. If there's something going on, if it's a game day, game days are different. There are kind of no rules on game day. But during a normal business day, unless we've got a lot of things going on, we try to tend to stay to one Facebook post a day. And if we are doing multiple, we spread them out by at least 5 hours, and we look at probably lunchtime and sometime after work. Here are the straight numbers. We had about 120,000 more likes on the main Facebook page from December 11 to December 12. So obviously the numbers are going to be higher for the 13 Rose Bowl. But you can see we did half as many posts, and we got about 3 times as many likes on those posts, and more than 4 times as many shares. The football Facebook page jumped a lot in terms of likes. Facebook did a great job of kind of corralling all the fake Wisconsin football pages and giving us those likes. But again, 10 posts versus 36 the year before. And then on the flip side, we were more active on Twitter. The main Twitter account, which we used mostly for to spotlight what fans were doing. It was pep rally stuff, answering questions about where they can pick up tickets, stuff like that. Whereas the football account was more informational about what we were doing, stuff from press conferences, that kind of stuff. So we did definitely more tweets. And then YouTube, as you can see, less is more, 7 videos versus 15, so half as many videos, but double the amount of views. So we felt really good about what we had done there. And then we had a hashtag Pasathrina that we used, and some of the national media caught on. Ivan Maisel from ESPN.com gave us a little shout out. So again, we thought that to put the stamp of the uniqueness of going to the Rose Bowl 3 straight times, that helped. So a couple other things, and about 9 o'clock here. A couple other things to touch on was we did, John Lucas was here, I don't know if he left, but kind of piggybacking off what the UW did with their UW Right Now. We did a hashtag UW Game Day for the Michigan State, the homecoming game last year. So we wanted to cover social media-wise kind of what happens from sun up on a game day until it was kind of a roving deadline whether we won or lost the game. If we had won, we'd kind of go until people stopped celebrating. If we lost, we kind of pulled the cord. So we had a bunch of our staff out, again, from sun up, get the sun rising over Camp Randall, get our people unlocking the gate, people setting up tailgates in the parking lot, and asked people to send us stuff via Twitter, post to our Facebook page. We did a little bit of Instagram stuff, any video stuff, YouTube, and then we aggregated it all into one place on our website. It was hashtag UW Game Day, and it was kind of a responsive site where, as you scrolled down, you saw more pictures. And we got, for the first time, we tried to do it all in-house, and it actually worked. And We had a staff, I mean, Mike can tell you, we had a staff of probably 7 or 8 people in the bullpen, just kind of going through Twitter, going through Facebook, grabbing some pictures, giving it to our tech guys who then formatted it a little bit and put it up on our site. And it was a great way, again, just to get some engagement from our fans. Because that's one thing like I said, for me as a communications background, my background is just kind of throwing news at people. We need to get away from that and start engaging them, and especially in something like college athletics where it's such an emotional thing. You know, there's no real good reason that people spend the money they do to come and watch a game, whether it's pro or college, other than the emotion of the game. So we need to tap into that and foster some of that emotion. One thing, again, Mike was pretty integral on was we just changed our Twitter handle, the main Twitter account. It used to be uwbadgers.com, DOTCOM, which was our website. Again, I'd like to say there was some great strategy behind our Twitter account, but it was the day before signing day. We said, what should the name be? We said, the name of our website is uwbadgers.com. Let's name the Twitter. Let's have our Twitter handle be that. So it was that for 4 years or so. We decided that was way too long and didn't really represent kind of who we were. So someone was on UW Badgers, so we had to do some negotiating to get that. But we finally did, and made the decision to do that probably 3 weeks ago or so. And I don't know if it was the right way to do it or the wrong way, but I decided to have some fun with our followers and, you know, tease a big announcement. You'd never look at uwbadgers.com the same, and all this stuff leading up to our 2 o'clock switch. And then we made the switch, and there were some negative backlash about the importance of the announcement. But we tried to play it off with, you know, we're getting thinner, 6 less characters. It didn't seem to fly very well, but people definitely knew we changed the name, so that we changed the handle. One other thing, I'll try to find it here, if I can, is, yes, Mike, thank you. Another kind of faux pas on Twitter that shows how you never know kind of what's going to be big. So this, I was sitting around, I'm not sure what the actual date was on this. So this says February 20th. So, yeah, I don't want to ruin the, I need to give you some background. February, the end of February is a total dead time for football. You have your bowl game that ends hopefully January 1st. Then you've got recruiting that goes through January, and February, first Wednesday in February is signing day. And then after signing day, there's a big gap between signing day and the start of spring practice. So again, I'm sitting in the office, middle of February, and I had just redone on YouTube our football videos playlist. Put all our cool videos in the playlist in one spot. People can go and watch them. It's a great thing to do. Again, there's no football for a while, so go to our playlist and watch all these cool football videos. So I got the link, and I, again, just decided to tweet it out. And so I tweeted this out. And thought absolutely nothing of it. About an hour later, I got a tweet, or the football account got a reply, something about nice use of grammar, you know, way to represent the university. And the amount of kind of hate Twitter we get is remarkable. So I just played it off. This guy, whatever, go away. And then like 2 hours later, there were a couple more tweets, and then it became a thing. So BuzzFeed had a little fun with it, and so then we were getting tweets from Gophers fans that said, I have all kinds of time. Where do I sign up? So all these people are retweeting my tweet, and a number of them are not including my link to the YouTube video playlist. So it's really killing me that at least that I'm not getting the views off this mistake that I made. So I send this out, it looks like probably 3 hours later. Thanks to the university and John Lucas, we can use these shortened links and kind of track how many clicks these get. So this was, again, a kind of a throwaway tweet to a YouTube playlist that had 50 videos. On a good day, probably get 100 clicks off that tweet. It got about 1,500 clicks. So I thought in the end, it was a great job of PR from the PR guy. But this came out the next day on BuzzFeed, and was kind of funny. Along with kind of talking about engagement, we had, again, probably a month ago, maybe a month ago, the football account was coming up on its 10,000th tweet. We had 9,999. So again, in Twitter, as you all know, things that shouldn't be important are important. 10,000 seemed like we could make a thing out of it. So for our 9,999th tweet, we said, we will retweet whoever finishes this sentence the best. And it was, Camp Randall on a Saturday is. And we probably got 100 responses to it in 3 hours. Oh, and we said we'd give you, the person we retweet will get 2 tickets to the Northwestern game, to homecoming on October 12th. So we got about 100 responses, some great stuff about how people feel about Camp Randall on a Saturday. And we, again, within kind of 3 hours, and we retweeted one, and then one person got the tickets, but then we were able to retweet the other, all 100 of them were terrific. So we retweeted another 50 of them or so to, part of the thing we wanted to, social media-wise, that we've been trying to combat for 3 months or so, 4 months, is there's been kind of locally and nationally a stigma about people not wanting to come to games anymore. That it's too expensive, that people would rather watch on TV, and it's not just a Wisconsin problem, it's people all over the country are dealing with it, both college and pro. And we wanted to remind people that we were named the #1 college game day, college football town in America by USA Today. Jump Around is the #1 college football tradition, according to Sports Illustrated. We wanted to tap into, again, that emotion that our fans have for Camp Randall and for the Badgers on a Saturday, and remind people of that. Part of it was selfishly to sell some tickets, but part of it was, again, to combat that kind of feeling that had been going around that, oh, people don't want to go to games anymore. So this was a perfect way to engage with our fans, but also get that message across that, hey, if all these people think Camp Randall on a Saturday is great, then it's got to be. So I think we did that pretty well. Again, that was, as Mike can tell you, I'd love to say we thought about that for 3 months and said, oh, at 9,000 tweets, we're going to do something great for our 10,000th. It was one day we woke up and it was at 99898, and we said, hey, we should do something with this right now. One other thing I'll kind of touch on, and then probably open it up for questions, is the Camp Randall ring beam. If anyone's was at Camp Randall last year for any games, there was a new ring beam on each side of the stadium, and we kind of cordoned off about a quarter of it to make it a Twitter board. So people tweet now with hashtag Badgers, and our marketing folks are up in the press box, and basically go through the tweets and can push tweets through, so people can see their tweet on the big board at Camp Randall. I kind of got it, but I didn't really until I went to the White Sox game about 2 weeks ago, and they have a social media cave in US Cellular Park, and it's basically they took a janitorial closet, kind of made it nicer, put some TVs in there, put some Twitter screens in there, and you go in there, you can charge your phone, you can tweet, you can watch different games, and they just have a 42-inch TV on there with just the Twitter feed, just basically that on a 42-inch TV, and I tweeted something about, thanks to the White Sox for hooking us up with tickets, and then my picture showed up there, and my name, and I thought it was pretty cool, and the only other people in the room were my 4 coworkers, but I can imagine at Camp Randall in front of 80,000 people, if your tweet gets up on the board, that it's probably a pretty cool experience. So the one thing we are working on to enhance that is to get people actual access so they can use their phones during the games, which is always a problem, but for the first year it worked really well. We did get some people, probably, I don't want to be age discriminatory here, probably older people who did not like that we took some board away from showing stats to show worthless dribble from Twitter, I believe was one of the emails. But for the most part, it was well received. I think that's, like I said, I'd love to share some things with people. I'd love to also say that we've got great strategy that we implement on a daily basis, but we do just kind of go at it and do what we do, and sometimes we're successful, sometimes we're not. I think the great thing about us is we're not afraid to try stuff. Obviously we've got a huge following at on a lot of our different accounts, but we are very willing to throw some stuff out there, and if it works, great, let's keep doing it. If it doesn't, well, then let's change direction. And I think that's great advice for everyone, especially in a medium that changes, I think, daily, hourly, weekly, like social media. So I don't know if there's any questions. I'll be happy to.
Actually, pause for a second.
Oh.
To let Victoria and Pam can do their announcement.
Oh.
So we want to thank Ryan.